Imagine being a child star thrust into the spotlight before you can even tie your shoes. That was Marie Osmond's reality. Growing up as the only girl among 8 brothers, she learned early on that life in the entertainment industry came with immense pressure to look a certain way, to perform flawlessly, to smile through exhaustion. From grueling schedules to constant public scrutiny, Marie battled eating disorders and body image struggles. Beneath the sequins and stage lights, darker truths loomed, including experiences of physical abuse that would leave emotional scars for years. Then came the rumors, whispers about her personal life, her relationships, and her family. For a long time, the truth remained hidden, but now her daughter is stepping forward. Could she finally confirm the stories that have followed Marie for decades? The answer might finally come to light. Marie's childhood was far from a fairy tale. It was a complex mix of dazzling success, missed milestones, and a deep yearning for acceptance. Born in 1959 in Ogden, Utah, Marie didn't enter a world of pink ribbons and lullabies. Instead, she was welcomed into a lively home filled with the energy of 8 older brothers: Verl, Tom, Alan, Wayne, Merrill, Jay, Donnie, and Jimmy. The Osmonds' Mormon faith was a cornerstone of their identity, and music pulsed through every corner of their home. Long before Marie found her own fame, her brothers were already making waves. Alan, Wayne, Merrill, and Jay performed as a barbershop quartet and captured national attention on The Andy Williams Show in the 1960s. Their success moved the family to Los Angeles and opened doors for Marie. At just 4 years old, she stepped in front of the same cameras. There was no slow transition into stardom. It hit like a floodlight. While most children her age were learning the alphabet, Marie was memorizing scripts, perfecting harmonies, and learning how to smile on cue. Her early years were consumed by the pursuit of perfection, not play. That kind of pressure demanded a maturity far beyond her years. In many ways, her childhood slipped through her fingers. The constant need to win approval from audiences and producers became a defining force in her life. Over time, the lines between performance and personal identity blurred. Marie became a people pleaser, often putting others' expectations above her own needs, a habit that would follow her well into adulthood. Despite the demands of show business, Marie found comfort in her family, especially in her bond with Donnie, her younger brother. They brought each other laughter and mischief amid their tightly scheduled lives. In her book Behind the Smile, My Journey Out of Postpartum Depression, Marie described how their time together provided a rare sense of normalcy. When they were back home in Utah, away from the cameras, the Osmond house was filled with music and laughter, a safe space that reminded them of who they were beneath the fame. But the safety of home couldn't erase all the pain. In her 2001 memoir, Marie revealed that she had been sexually abused as a child. The incidents, she wrote, happened repeatedly in places where she should have been safe. Though she chose not to name the abuser, the impact of that trauma was long-lasting. It added another layer of complexity to an already burdened childhood. Through the years, Marie's public image remained polished. But behind that smile were untold stories that are only now beginning to emerge. Possibly through the voice of her daughter. Whether those long-held rumors will finally be confirmed remains to be seen. But one thing is clear. Marie Osmond's path to adulthood was shaped not just by fame, but by resilience in the face of deep personal pain. The abusers, Marie revealed, were not people she was close to, either personally or professionally. Still, the impact of the abuse reached deep into her adult life, leaving lasting scars on her mental and emotional well-being. In a candid 2019 episode of The Talk, Marie opened up about how the trauma of her early years led her to question her sexuality. The abuse, she explained, created a sense of deep distrust and discomfort around men, a lasting consequence that took years to unpack. While Marie's personal pain remained mostly hidden, her professional star was only rising. As the 1970s began, her brothers Alan, Wayne, Merrill, Jay, Donnie, and Jimmy were riding high as the pop group The Osmonds. With their clean-cut image and chart-topping hits, they became international sensations. Amid this whirlwind of screaming fans and sold-out shows, Marie found an opportunity to step into her own spotlight. The music industry saw something special in her: a powerful voice, a strong presence, and a charisma that couldn't be ignored. Rather than following directly in her brother's pop footsteps, Marie turned to country music. The genre's emphasis on storytelling, family values, and emotional honesty appealed to her deeply. Still, just a preteen, she walked into a Nashville recording studio, armed with 9 memorized songs, including Dolly Parton's Coat of Many Colors. That session would change the course of her life. Don Ovens, an executive at MGM Records, recognized her potential instantly and signed her to a solo deal. Her father became closely involved in her career, working alongside country music producer Sonny James. In June 1973, Marie and her mother traveled to Nashville to record her debut tracks. Among them was Paper Roses, a song that would become her breakout hit. Released in August 1973, the track soared to number 1 on the US and Canadian country charts, climbed to number 5 on the US Hot 100. In the UK, it reached number 2. Just 1 month later, her debut album topped the US Country Albums chart, making her the youngest female country artist to debut at number 1. This wasn't a one-time success. Marie followed it with other popular singles, including In My Little Corner of the World and Who's Sorry Now, released in 1974, and 1975. By her early teens, she had solidified herself as a serious force in country music. Meanwhile, Donny Osmond was also enjoying a meteoric solo career as a teen heartthrob. In 1974, a recording session for the song I'm Leaving It All Up to You changed everything. When Donny struggled to hit a high note, Marie was brought in to help. Their duet turned into a hit, reaching number 4 on the US Hot 100. The chemistry was undeniable, and Donny and Marie became a duo that would captivate audiences across the country. By 1976, their popularity led to the launch of Donny and Marie, a network variety show that brought their charm and wholesome image into millions of living rooms. But behind the scenes, Marie was facing intense pressure. One day, studio executives pulled her aside with a devastating ultimatum: lose 10 pounds or risk the show's future. She already weighed just 103 pounds. The critique shattered her. Accused of being an embarrassment to her family, she began a dangerous crash diet, relying on lemon water, cayenne pepper, and maple syrup, consuming nothing else for days at a time. Her weight dropped to 93 pounds. Despite battling physical exhaustion and emotional distress, she kept performing. Around the same time, a new manager, Carl Engelman, took over the Osmond children's careers. While things started smoothly, Marie eventually cut ties with him in 2009, citing repeated unprofessional conduct and breaches of trust. The relationship had soured, leaving behind further feelings of betrayal. Despite the turmoil, Donny and Marie remained a massive success. Their opening line, "I'm a little bit country, I'm a little bit rock and roll," became iconic, capturing the essence of their dynamic and endearing them to fans. Behind the polished facade, though, was a relentless work schedule. They regularly put in 18-hour days filled with script rehearsals, costume changes, and choreography. Marie even found time for 3 hours of on-set tutoring each day to keep up with her education. In 1978, the pair tried their hand at film with Going Coconuts, which unfortunately flopped at the box office. But Marie quickly bounced back with the television movie The Gift of Love. Based on a story by O. Henry, she was increasingly cautious about the roles she accepted, famously turning down the part of Sandy in Grease. Feeling the character's image clashed with her own values, eventually, the variety show was rebranded as the Osmond Family Hour before coming to an end, closing a major chapter in Marie's early career. But her story, shaped by triumphs and trauma alike, was far from over. 1979 marked the end of an era, but Marie Osmond, ever the star, wasn't ready to fade from view. In 1980, she stepped out solo with her own variety show, simply titled Marie. Though it lasted only 7 episodes, the short-lived series didn't dampen her spirit. Instead, it fueled her drive to explore new creative outlets. She set her sights on musical theater, and in 1994, took on the iconic role of Maria von Trapp in a touring production of The Sound of Music. Filling shoes once worn by Julie Andrews was no easy feat, but critics praised Marie for bringing warmth and authenticity to the beloved character. Her success on stage continued when she made her Broadway debut in The King and I, the role of Anna Lennon's allowed Marie to stretch beyond the safe territory of past roles, proving her range as a performer. Critics took notice once again, and the production led to a national tour. Around the same time, she reunited with her brother Donnie for a syndicated revival of Donnie and Marie. Their chemistry remained strong, and the show enjoyed a solid run until its conclusion in 2000. Looking for a new creative outlet that kept her close to home, Marie launched a radio talk show, Marie and Friends. In 2004, out of Salt Lake City, she brought her signature warmth and humor to the airwaves, creating a wholesome listening experience. However, the show was canceled within a year, marking another setback. But Marie's resilience showed again in 2007, when she took on an unexpected challenge joining the cast of Dancing with the Stars. Her ballroom routines captivated audiences. But during a live performance, she collapsed on stage. Struggling to catch her breath, brushing it off, she apologized with grace. But it was a stark reminder of how years of stress and a relentless pace had taken a toll on her health. She had gained 40 pounds and was not only fighting for a place in the competition, but also for her health. It was her eldest son's words, "Mom, it would really be nice if you were there for my kids," that spurred her into action. Marie became a spokesperson for Nutrisystem, embraced a healthier lifestyle, lost 27 pounds during the show, with an additional 13 pounds lost afterward. What began as a frightening moment on national TV turned into a transformative journey that brought her renewed vitality. In 2019, her reinvention caught the attention of CBS, and Marie was offered a co-hosting role on The Talk. Her positive energy seemed a perfect fit. But after just one season, she announced her departure in 2020, saying she wanted more time with her family. Although CBS praised her contributions, rumors swirled that tensions with co-hosts Sharon Osbourne and Cheryl Underwood had played a role. Reports of ultimatums and backstage drama were denied by the network, leaving the real story behind her exit a matter of speculation. As her career evolved, Marie's personal life was no less eventful. In 1979, she became briefly engaged to acting student Jeff Creighton, but the engagement ended after a few months. That same year, she had a short, passionate romance with singer Andy Gibb, followed by a brief relationship with Dukes of Hazzard star John Schneider in 1981. In 1982, she seemed to find lasting love when she married BYU basketball player Steve Craig. Their joy grew when their son, Stephen Jr., was born in 1983. However, the pressures of fame and young parenthood became overwhelming, and the marriage ended in 1985. A year later, Marie found love again with music producer Brian Blazell. Drawn to his gentle humor and stability, they married in a private ceremony. Together, they had 2 biological children. Angela adopted 5 more: Jessica, Michael, Brandon, Brianna, and Abigail. For a time, it seemed Marie had found both family fulfillment and personal peace. But in 2007, after 21 years of marriage, the couple divorced. Both Marie and Brian emphasized there was no one to blame, simply that their journey together had come to an end. After the divorce, Marie publicly declared she had no intention of marrying again. But fate had other plans. At her son's urging, she reconnected with her first husband, Steve Craig. After 2 years of secretly rebuilding their relationship, Marie remarried Steve in 2011, wearing the same dress from their original 1982 wedding, reflecting on their second chance. She noted that age and experience had changed her perspective. The things that once seemed so important no longer were. Motherhood brought some of Marie's most profound joys, but also deep struggles. After the birth of each of her 6 biological children, she experienced the common baby blues. But following the birth of her son Matthew in 1999, she fell into a deep postpartum depression. Overwhelmed and exhausted, she drove away from her home, convinced in a moment of despair that her children might be better off without her. It wasn't until she returned and sought help that she finally received the diagnosis and support she needed. Throughout these tough times, one thing was clear. Marie's love for her children was immense. She showed this same deep love to her daughter. This happened when her daughter shared she was a lesbian. "I know how much I love my children," Marie stated. "And I know God loves all of us," she added. "I pray everyone finds happiness and success." Motherhood, with its joys and challenges, was central to Marie Osmond's life. Life constantly tested Marie's strength. In 2006, a health issue landed her in the hospital. Rumors spread like wildfire. Tabloids falsely claimed it was a suicide attempt. Marie's team strongly denied this. They said she had a bad reaction to medicine. Later, in an interview with Oprah, Marie shared something personal. She admitted having suicidal thoughts during postpartum depression. Thankfully, her inner strength and her family's needs helped her fight those dark feelings. The greatest pain came in when Marie's son, Michael Bossel, died by suicide. He was only 18. Michael had struggled with depression for a while. He felt very alone and hopeless. His death destroyed Marie's world. It was a parent's worst fear. Tragedy struck again in 2014. Marie's young grandniece, London Mortensen, lost her life. She was just 7. A trailer door fell on the child. Her life ended much too soon. This loss reopened old wounds for Marie. It brought back the pain of losing her son. The Osmond family faced many trials. In 2019, Marie spoke about her brother's health problems. Verl had a stroke. Tom needed heart surgery. Jimmy also had a stroke. Donnie had an operation. Despite these constant struggles, Marie's strong faith sustained her. Marie acted as a guiding light. She helped herself and her family. They found courage through tough times. Even with chaos, Marie found joy. In a heartfelt talk, she cried. Her children's deep love moved her. Her youngest, Abigail, showed her simple love. This filled Marie with motherly pride. She faced much pain and sadness. Marie treasured these special times. She saw her 8 children as her biggest triumphs. Marie worked hard in her career. She also enjoyed seeing her kids and grandkids succeed. She worried about social media's pull. Marie wished her family would seek real bonds. She hoped they would value people over online likes. Her kids adopted, and her own grew well. They became kind people. They showed the best of their mother's spirit. She dealt with struggles and embarrassing moments. Marie would not trade being a mother. Her children gave her strength. They gave her purpose. They formed a bond that lasted. This bond helped her through life's hard parts. We have explored Marie Osmond's amazing life. Her story has bright fame and deep sorrow. It shows her constant strength. If you liked this look into her life, please like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. You won't miss our new videos.